nothing in the world like it. Welcome to Houston, Texas.
That's a bold move. Face us, man, somebody should have told you. I'm way up on the grind and I won't lose. Shake up, make bucks, then I'm on too. The next level, the best step of your own news. Daredevil with class level with no rules. I'm gonna let you go through. Wanna speed it up, wanna heat it up. Kick it up a notch, when you win it down.
This is Championship Sunday at Rodeo Houston.
Get excited in a final round.
They wanna see the lights, flashing before their eyes. We on a different time. I'm about to. We on the other side. The thrill is still alive. Lock in, enjoy the ride. I'm about to. Here I come. You better catch up. I'm on one. Yeah, we next up. For that pump. Adrenaline rush. Living it up. Ain't no pressure. Kicking it in your drive. Kicking it in your drive.
Well, Bob Tallman said it. There is nothing like it. Rodeo Houston Championship Sunday. We're live here outside NRG Stadium, and everyone is making their way through the midway to fill NRG Stadium. I'm Katie Kaufman. This is Rodeo Live, presented by Tractor Supply. Alongside me, five-time world champion steer wrestler and Pro Rodeo Hall of Famer Luke Branquino, as well as two-time the American champion and nine-time NFR qualifier, Tilden Hooper. Luke, Tilden, I know it feels great to be back at Rodeo Houston.
Yeah, absolutely, and right now is the day to get it done. You know, the rodeo was great up to this point, but when you got a chance, like they do today, Tilden, go through the 10-man, get to the 4-man, and have a chance at that big money, not only does that change things in the standings, but it has a legitimate shot and implications for a world championship.
Absolutely, you put $65,000 on the board today. That's not guaranteeing a trip to the National Finals rodeo, but that's halfway there.
Yeah, confidence is key and momentum, especially through this Texas swing as they pursue their 2025 National Finals rodeo dreams. But you know what? When we think about dreams, back in 2015, Luke, you were the champion here at Rodeo Houston. Was it in black and white then? I can't remember that far back.
VHS tapes, I think.
They had to convert it to media.
You know, the thing about this run here is all I had to be was 5'9". I had a good steer, but I maxed the barrier out. People thought when I left, they're like, you just broke the barrier for $50,000. I took a chance, it worked, and I got the W.
Yeah.
Hey, good for you.
That is total championship mindset through and through, Luke. We see that from you many times over. And Tilden, you were just here at Rodeo Houston just a few short weeks ago.
Yeah, I was, and I let the first two kind of slip away from me a little bit. Come back on the third one, made a strong ride, wasn't quite enough. I've been here 12, 15 times, something like that. I've competed on Championship Sunday. It's a feeling like nowhere else. It's you get in that 4 round and go to riding for this big of a check. It's a big deal.
Yeah, and speaking of that competitive round, especially down to the 4 round that we'll see today, Luke.
Yeah, exactly right. And these guys are going out. I do have one thing to say, though. I think I may be one of the oldest competitors. I got to compete in both the Astrodome, my rookie year, Katie, and also in NRG. So it's a cool feeling to be sitting right between both of them right now.
Yeah, without question. And we've got to get to our Best of Houston. We want to especially thank Folds of Honor for this. We're going to get right to number 5. And number 5, well, that is the barbecue attendance. Unbelievable. Not only great barbecue here, Luke, but the general attendance at Rodeo Houston, 2.53 million attendees all throughout the week here at NRG.
Well, and that's the great thing about Houston and Tilden. We get to see it as competitors. We could walk the midway and see all these people, but when you get inside that building, when you're competing, there's nothing like it. And to have that many people, eyeballs on you as a competitor, that's just huge. That goes to show you what Rodeo Houston not only does for the community here in Houston, but for us athletes.
Yeah, and best of number 4 is the junior auction sales. $26 million for 2025 alone, Luke.
Yeah, until we get to see that, how important that is for the youth.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of rodeo athletes I know that grew up showing livestock. Wes Stevenson won the sheep show here one time, and it set him up. He made a lot of money and was able to take that and turn it into his rodeo career.
Yeah, and when we look to best of number 3, you know, Tilden mentioned it just at the top of the show, but it's the rodeo payout. It increased this year, both Tilden and Luke, to $2.5 million.
Yeah, and again, as an athlete, when you get to see that and not only affect all of the athletes, but again, Championship Sunday, get to affect your bank account, that's huge. And Houston has been on the growth pattern for many years. When I first came here, I think the go-rounds paid $4,000 to $5,000. Now you get the Super Series where you have a chance to win $7,000 to $8,000 if you, or $9,000, I guess, if you win all 3 rounds, but then a chance at the $50,000.
Yeah, and speaking of all that money, Tilden, you can't help but also talk about the economic impact here in the great city of Houston. This year alone, $326 million. That means there are so many rodeo fans who are not missing out on Rodeo Houston, Tilden.
Yeah, no doubt. There's a lot of people coming through here.
Yeah, and you can see that whether it's the Midway or the exhibition hall or even making your way into the rodeo, you do not want to miss Rodeo Houston. And best of number 1 here for Rodeo Houston in 2025 has to be $28 million in scholarships alone, benefiting the Texas youth and their education.
Well, and that's one thing we all love about the Texas rodeos is the scholarship opportunities they give the youth. And then, Houston, obviously the very biggest. It is awesome.
Yeah, we have so many great things to get to here on Rodeo Live, presented by Tractor Supply. But we've got great guests all throughout the afternoon. And Luke and Tilden, I know you know these two guys very well. They're going to stop by the booth before they head in for the championship round. No one other than Logan Hay and Damian Brennan.
Man, I'm so excited. Logan Hay is really one of the funniest guys I know. Damian Brennan's one of the hottest Bronc riders going right now. This is going to be a fun interview, fun to talk to these guys. Like I said, I caught a few rides with Logan this summer, and it's one of those deals where you get done and your stomach's hurting from laughing so hard you've been hanging out with those guys.
Yeah, and we'll have great looks at not only the stock and who they're going to be getting on, but we're going to be able to visit with them just about the rodeo road in general. You're watching Rodeo Live, presented by Tractor Supply here on the Cowboy Channel. Don't go anywhere. We've got a great show coming up.
Looks like Terry's starting.
Welcome back to Rodeo Live, presented by Tractor Supply. We're live at Rodeo Houston for nothing else other than Championship Sunday. Welcome back to the studio here by NRG Stadium. I'm Katie Kaufman. Alongside me, Luke Branquino, Tilden Hooper, and our very special guests who have made the championship round here. No one other than Damian Brennan and Logan Hay. Both of you, thank you for joining.
Thanks for having us. I was expecting a bit of a stool. I can barely see over here, but thank you.
Hey, you know what? You and I are about the same height, so I understand. Well, I mentioned that both of you made the championship round. It takes a lot to get to Championship Sunday. And Logan, I know that being here at Rodeo Houston, that means a lot to you.
Yeah, it's actually my first time making it to Championship Sunday here, but yeah, it's a tough deal to get through your set, and in the semifinals, a lot of things have to go right, so I'm just happy to be here and hopefully get the big money today.
All right, I got to ask you, what about your draw, Texas Toast, Survey Brothers? What do you like about it?
Yeah, he's kind of a younger horse. This is kind of his first time in a short round like this, but he was really good in San Antonio. He's going to stay close to the chutes, and the judges like it when they do that. It should be big and flashy and give me a chance to make a good ride on him.
We were talking about it off air, but looks like today the ball's in Terry Carlin's court. He could come good on the Venmo request you sent him after the NFR whenever he blew that call out there.
No comment.
Oh, we got a comment on that.
I'll comment for you.
But the ball is in your court, too.
Yeah, I don't know what it pays out there. 30,000 looks like you're 6,500 up. He's been chipping away. He could really make a dent in that.
Yeah. I mean, he could pay back and more. So, but no, it's been going good for me so far. I just hope it keeps rolling.
Way to put him on the spot, Tilden. I mean, the guy's gonna.
He put that on Facebook.
I thought that
he
was
posted it on Facebook. That's for the world to see.
Hey, things happen on round 11. They're supposed to stay in round 11.
Also, I looked at your Facebook earlier, and I've noticed that you've been doing really good here at Rodeo Houston. $6,500 won already, and also really excited to have your girlfriend with you. Looks like.
Thank you. Yes, I am.
That's cool. I'd be excited if I was you and had a girlfriend that looked like that.
Obviously, we knew what Tilden was doing on the commercial break, was just scouring Facebook. Logan, you weren't ready for this.
I thought he was just talking to me off air, and he was going to stay off air.
Absolutely not. This is why they brought me.
Yeah, I knew he was coming with something.
Damien, you have.
You're not up today, Tilden. What happened?
Oh,
well, fired. You know what? I didn't even get close, so it's not even worth talking about.
Damien, you have triple threat of Survey Championship Rodeo. Have you seen that horse before?
Yeah, I've actually been on it there before. I got on it at Casper 2 years ago. I'm on the rodeo one, so it's a really nice little horse to stay so close to the chute. And yeah, she's given me every opportunity.
Yeah, I think you're going to need to borrow Logan's microphone.
We can't hear you,
yeah, sorry.
On that? Yep,
yeah,
there you go.
triple threat. So you've been on her?
Yeah, so it's a good horse. I won Casper on it 2 years ago. It's a nice little horse. Jumps, kicks, tight in a circle. So yeah, it should be good.
I got to ask, your first interview when you came over from Australia, how was that for you? Tilden kind of broke it down, the questions you were asked and how you explained it. Was that, probably a great time of your life?
In Napa?
No, I don't actually remember this interview one bit. Were you doing it to me?
No, I thought you were with Boyd out in the arena. It could have been another Aussie. I don't know. I thought it was you.
No, there was an interview where he said, what's your favorite bit about a woman's body or something?
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking
about.
You know what I mean? that was pure comedy that day.
Well, Logan, back in just last year, you had a successful NFR. You've made the NFR back in 2022 and 2024. What kind of momentum does that give you as you make your way through the Texas swing like we're seeing you today in Championship Sunday?
Yeah, it definitely gives you a lot of momentum. Like, anytime you get into these big pressure situations, I just think back, I've done this at the NFR. I can do it here. I've made it to round 10s in the NFR where, I could have fell off to lose second in the average, and, I did fine there. So I always resort back to that on these big moments, and that definitely helps.
Well, and speaking of big moments, Damian, you did very well back here in 2024. Rodeo Houston's been good for you.
Yeah, it has been. It's I think I've nearly made the short round every year I've come here, so I don't know. I love this rodeo. It's the biggest paying rodeo of the year, so hopefully we can go out there and go back-to-back today.
Yeah, and talking about coming over from Australia, I mean, a big culture shock to you when you got out here compared to the rodeos in Australia?
Oh, it's huge. It's a whole different ball game over here. Back home, it's just a hobby. Back home, over here, you can make a living from it, and you can fill stadiums like that one there, which is pretty crazy.
How about the Bronc match you guys did in Australia this past year? How'd that go?
Yeah, it was awesome. The boys come over, Logs come over, and we put $50,000 prize money up, which is the biggest Bronc match ever had in Australia. And, we just come out. The boys went out, and they come out to the ranch and seen some kangaroos. May have, done some whatever. But, yeah, it was an awesome time.
Via Snapchat, it looked like you guys were having a pretty large time.
Yeah, it was a pretty good time. You go to Australia and you take 20 Bronc riders and give us a week off before the ride is a little shaky there, but we definitely had a good time.
Any stories you want to share?
We were actually pretty good, really. I mean, we went to the beach for a week before, but honestly, we didn't do anything too bad.
Damian, we know that rodeo's growing. Obviously, you're kind of right at the peak of where we're heading with it. But how is it with the Cowboy Channel and folks down in Australia being able to watch you get to compete with the app and everything that comes through with it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's huge. It's crazy. So Mum's actually got a big messenger group, and there could be 100 to 150 people on it. And my fiancée, Jess, she keeps them up to date at when I'm riding, what time it starts, what horse I've got. So they just click on that Cowboy Channel app, and they can follow me all the whole year long. So it's it's pretty cool.
That is so incredible. Are they watching Rodeo live at Rodeo Houston right now?
I hope so. I don't know if I told them about this one, but I'll have to let them know.
You have anything you want to tell the people back at home?
Thanks for the support. Wouldn't be able to do it without them guys. Honestly, it means a lot. So much support from the home country. It really keeps me going and, wanting to be here.
Logan, what's it like coming back to some of these rodeos that you've I'm assuming you've been here with your dad before, right?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I've always been at these rodeos before, just as a little kid watching from the stands. It was in the Astrodome when Rodeo was riding in it, so it's just, I always dreamed of being here, but to, actually be in it and then in the short round is crazy. Even I came and watched Dawson when I was on my permit, and, I got here and I was like, wow, I really want to be here one day, and now that I'm in the short round, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and, these are two foreigners, right? Like you got a Canadian and an Australian. Where's our American Bronc riders? Tilden, where are they at?
I don't know. Looks like there's a few of them in there. You got Weston Patterson, Zach Dallas. I think Zach's American. I'm not 100% sure.
They're all boring. You don't want to have them on that.
Chase Brooks, there's this new guy, Ryder Wright. We could have got Ben T up here. He's usually a pretty good time.
Ben's good for one. He's probably still sleeping, though. He doesn't know the rodeo.
Leighton Green's just crouching around somewhere out there.
Here are your full matchups as we go into the championship round. And you heard Tilden and Luke mention it. What else would you expect other than in the international city of Rodeo Houston? We want to give thanks to Damian and Logan and wish them the best of luck for Championship Sunday. And we will be right back here with more on Rodeo Live, presented by Tractor Supply. Stay here.
Giving you a live television broadcast, giving you all the information, all the lowdown, everything you need to know before you go into NRG Stadium for Championship Sunday to see who's going to take home the title for Rodeo Houston.
Channel 13. Hey. And if I bring the fader down out of the house, oh, hold on. Hey. Oh. Check. Oh, why is it pre-fade? That might be the two. Okay. All right. See if
Well, there's a great shot of all the fans who are coming to the championship round of Rodeo Houston inside NRG Stadium. We're having a great time. Welcome to Rodeo Live, presented by Tractor Supply. Again, I'm Katie Kaufman. Alongside me, Luke Branquino, Tilden Hooper, and a two-time Rodeo Houston champion, no one other than Jordan Briggs. Jordan, thanks for stopping by before the short round.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Well, you know, I just mentioned it, two-time champion here at Rodeo Houston. Not only do you know what it takes to win, but you know that setup inside NRG very well. What is your strategy?
Man, today is going to be a tough one. The setup at Houston is weird, and so a lot of the times, like, there's just kind of some random people in the short round for horses that just fit this arena, and not today. Today is like all the past world champions for the past I don't know how many years. I don't even want to think about it. And so it's going to be a knife fight today. I have pretty big shoes to fill. Thanks for Rolo for all that pressure. But, you know, you're guaranteed a check today. So I'm just going to be positive about that and to be in the hunt and just hope we can get in the top 4 and make 2 runs today.
Yeah, speaking of Rolo, I mean, he's kind of been a tale of success for you and your family. And how's he feeling? Obviously, he placed in all 3 rounds coming into it. The semifinals went good. So, I mean, to have Rolo at top form, that's got to be a great feeling, especially coming into the knife fight.
Yeah, for sure. He feels great. He's getting some age on him a little bit and getting a little smart to the rodeo world, aren't we all? Yeah. But
Maybe.
But no, we're glad to be here. I love Houston. This is such a fun rodeo, and it's just great to be here. But I dang sure I want this money. I love this rodeo, and what this rodeo means to me is more time at home with my family. And so I have high goals to do good here, so I don't have to rodeo very much.
2-time champ for Jordan Briggs. That's 2 more times than you, Tilden.
Yeah, that's 2 more times than a lot of people.
Well, hey, you know what? It might be 3 today. Who knows, Jordan? We're going to be keeping a close eye on you as you make your way into NRG for the championship round. And we talk about your mother a lot, Christy Peterson. She's won Rodeo Houston 3 times.
Yeah, I figured. There's always, she always has 1 or 4 more on me every rodeo I go to.
Well, you're closing in very, very, very quickly.
Well, how old were you when you came with your mom here and she won it the first time?
Oh, man.
Oh, sorry to do math.
Probably 92. I was born in 88. So I was an Astrodome baby.
That's what we were talking about earlier. I mean, there's not very many people that got to be in the Astrodome and come over to NRG, and your mom was one of them.
Yeah, and honestly, this setup is tough, but the Astrodome was even tougher because they set up a standard pattern, 17-second pattern in the Astrodome. It was wide open, and you were going way faster between the turns. So it was even a tougher setup than it is now, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just such an awesome feeling, especially as a steer wrestler. We just get done with our event, and then you guys come in. So coming off a high like that and getting to watch you guys run, and obviously at the knife fight, it's going to be. How far down are you on the ground, and does the ground, have an implication on performance potentially?
I think it's been really even this year. They've had some trouble with over water or underwater and just kind of figuring that out a little bit. It's, there's a lot of dirt in that arena to figure out. But I'm sure they have it really good for today for the championship round, and I'm third out. I like that position. Most of the team roper, the team ropers or you guys want to be last out and know what you have to be. Barrel racing is really not that strategic in my opinion. I would rather be at the beginning, just go make my run and hope for the best.
Yeah, well, we'll be watching you very, very soon. We can't stress the relationship between you and Rolo enough, and so many of the athletes we're going to be seeing today on the championship round have that. How special is that bond truly with Rolo?
Oh, it's really special. He's I do have my own child, but he's the second child.
And your mom obviously had that too with her great horses.
Yes. We're very blessed to have horses that made a living for our family and that we got to keep them till, they passed away. And just horses are so special in our family. And I'm just so blessed to get another one like my mom did.
So you talk about Rodeo Houston with the win. Obviously, Rolo, you said, is getting a little up there in age, like we all are, a little gray in your beard too.
Mainly you.
Yeah. But, getting the win here, that just lets you lighten up your schedule the rest of the season.
For sure. I'm a homebody. I love to be home and ride my colts. I don't really want to grind it out on the rodeo trail. I did last year, and it aged me a little bit more. Maybe Rolo too. So, like I said, this rodeo is just really special to win because, some people might look at it as a shortcut to the gold buckle or a big leap to help you get a gold buckle. I look at it as less rodeos. Hopefully, only have to go to like 25 again.
Wow.
And so but it's also really good for your pocketbook too, to pay some bills.
Yeah, that really speaks to just not only your athleticism, but your drive to win and your championship mindset. 25 rodeos would be incredible. Where can we see you after Rodeo Houston?
San Angelo, kind of finish up the bigger rodeos in Texas, and then we'll kind of see how it goes from there. I haven't had a very good winter, so I might have to go a little bit more than I normally do in like April and May, and then but again, I want Rolo to be fresh come June so we can battle it out those important months.
Well, we want to thank you for stopping by, Jordan, and I hope that all of you at home got to know just a little bit more about Jordan and her great relationship with her horse, Rolo. We're going to be cheering for them inside NRG Stadium, but first, we want you to be able to get to know world champion Britney Pozzi Tonozzi and her great relationship with her horse and the importance of that in barrel racing.
The horse is a red rocket, but this lady is a jockey of rockets.
She is jumped on this one. She won 2 out of 3 rounds in her set, and that is the Australian horse cashing in the fame.
So Bobby was trained by Montana O'Donoghue Kent in Australia. He has Australian quarter horse papers. He is by a son of Dash to Fame called Seconds to Fame. He stands in Australia. I do not know much about his mother, but I do know that she was a very good Australian barrel horse. And Montana came over to work for the Busbies, and Andrea and I were hauling at the time. So I got to be really familiar with Montana, and she actually brought him over. He flew basically around the world. He flew to places like Vietnam, Qatar, landed in Chicago, and then was transported from Chicago down to Texas. If he can go all those miles on a plane and in a van and all the different things, he definitely is going to make a rodeo horse. I chose to run Bobby because he had actually been here previously with Lincoln Bice, and I have so many young horses that I didn't really think that I had something to fit this arena and this setup. And I knew Bobby had been here, and he'd done all right. And I was like, you know what? We're going to go make some nice runs and see if they pay us any money.
If I'm not mistaken, that might be the fastest run we've seen or very close to it. Absolutely perfect so far. Excellent work, Britney. She goes to the lead.
Oh, it was amazing. I was actually in shock. I'm like, I can't believe that just happened. We all knew he had it in him, but we maybe just didn't know that he was quite that fast on this stage. This is probably his first really big win. It's always fun to be surprised, and he's definitely surprised us, and a little shock and awe. So I think this is a big win for anyone, no matter what. So even for me, if I've never won this rodeo, and if Bobby can help me get that done, it's going to be super special for a lot of people.
We'll love hearing the mindset from world champion Britney Pozzi Tonozzi. We're going to watch her at the championship round here inside NRG Stadium. We're just a few minutes from that. Stay here. You're watching Rodeo Live, presented by Tractor Supply.
Hey, hey, hey. 1, 2. Oh, yeah, that's it.
Got my mic.
Oh, you might, no, you don't. Oh.
That part to your chest. How many?
Presented by Tractor Supply. We're outside NRG Stadium. We're just minutes away from Championship Sunday here at Rodeo Houston, and we're having a lot of fun. I hope you're having fun with us, too. I'm Katie Kaufman alongside me, Luke Branquino, Tilden Hooper, and your reigning world champions, Wesley Thorpe and Tyler Wade. Thanks for stopping by before the short round.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
It's pretty fun having these two guys up. They not only do they know how to rope together and be a unit. You don't fight very much as a team roping team, which we see that happen sometimes.
No, me and him, we're tight. We're buddies. There's a lot of people that do argue a little bit, but me and him are on the same page.
What's your catch percentage?
My catch percentage is a little lower than Wesley's, to say the least.
Oh, I think we might have to just share microphones. You all share everything else, especially for team roping. So go ahead, Wesley.
Catch percentages, what were you saying?
Yeah, well, I was just wondering what your catch percentage is. I'm looking into entering a few ropings coming up. And I'm trying to figure out if I'd like to have one of you guys rope with me.
Here's the deal. I'm at about 50. Wesley stays 100, so we win about 50% of the time.
Does it count every time you miss? It's a catch for him?
It's a wash.
Tyler is not hearing audio, so you can't get directions from audio.
Oh, my gosh. Well, you know what? Joking aside, team roping is definitely a team sport, and you have to have great chemistry and strategy when you think to all of the team roping. And here, a look back at social media. I know that you all were having a lot of fun with one another.
Because I had to turn them all the way up just to hear them, too. You might...
I went to...
There's a lot of noise.
Yeah, there's your post.
Yeah, we're looking back at the social
post
media.
On the screen here. Every dog has his day. That was you. Your post was right there.
Oh, yeah, Wesley just posted us missing on the internet. But
I'm sure nobody saw it live on the Cowboy Channel.
Yeah, that's what we were looking for. I have no words, but he'll clown on me every once in a while.
Hey, all joking aside, watching the NFR last year, it's wild to say this as a bareback rider, but watching the team roping and watching what you guys did out there this year in the team roping had me fired up, dude. You guys backed in there and run at it every night, whether it went your way the night before or not. And going out there, you see all that money out there in front of you, and it's hard not to just think, man, maybe I just go out there and try to win third or something. But there was no question in anyone's mind when you guys backed in there every night you were trying to win first, and that was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was a roller coaster. I mean, it started off with a bang, and then it went backwards, and then we kind of got the momentum back. It was just all over the board. The ball was in our court the whole time, but it just seemed like, it kind of got out of reach for a minute, and we would win another round and get back in the race. So it was super tight the whole time and kept it fun. And he goes at him, so when he connects, it's usually for first.
Well, it's easy to say, hey, I'm going to go out there and try to win every round, right? But then you get out there, and then you see what's out there in front of you, and it takes a pair to back in there and do it every night, and you guys did.
Well, not to mention, when you catch 60%, you kind of find out who your friends are. And Luke over here, he was dogging me, I believe, at one time. He lost my vote.
Listen, hey, you guys do what you do, and you do it successfully. But what I like is you guys not only are building your world championship resume, but you're also helping the youth, the World Youth Team Roping Championship.
Are you trying to turn this around?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going on a positive roll right now for you, man.
I liked where we were headed just a second ago. I was going to trade spots with you.
I wasn't on his fantasy team, to say the least.
Oh, man.
Hey, listen, I might have picked Coleman Proctor. Who wouldn't pick that?
It's pretty easy to tell he doesn't know what he's talking about. So.
It is team roping.
Right. Well,
yeah, so back to the
Tilden's
junior deal. What did you guys say? You guys had something like 4,000 runs already, and the roping still going?
Well, we had 2,000 teams before today, and there was over 500 entries today alone. So it's been an awesome event. And, we've just got together with a ton of great sponsors trying to help the youth and grow the sport, and it's gotten a lot bigger than we anticipated.
Yeah, it was super fun. We stayed till about 12 today, and then we landed about 30 minutes before we got on the show. So we've been running on minimal sleep for a few days.
Wow. Well, to be able to compartmentalize whether you're being an athlete or giving back to the youth. Wesley, you touched on it a minute ago, and I can't help but bring it up again, especially the team roping at the National Finals Rodeo. It's a roller coaster every single night. Right when you think that there's a team that's maybe positioning themselves to be in first place, they may catch a leg or they may miss. How do you keep your game plan consistent and steady? You obviously have done that well, 2 world championships now.
You know, it can change any night on any steer. One steer could change it all for the good or bad, and so you just have to ride it. You know, over the years of being there, you have to learn that, hey, it's okay. You've got a chance no matter what, so just stay in the game and be ready for the opportunities, because it's easy to get down, and it's easy to go the wrong way, so you just got to be ready for the right opportunities to get the momentum back headed your way and kind of ride the line in the middle the best you can.
Well, you all have proven that you do that very well, and we're going to transition now. I mean, Tilden, after this interview, I feel like you're entering the team roping. We know Luke's out of retirement, hoping that he catches a steer here in a few weeks, and now we're going to get to game time. We'll see. Are you ready to play a game, Tyler and Wesley? Do you have
Is
your
that
whiteboards?
what these marker boards are for?
That's right.
All right.
I've got some really hard-hitting questions.
We're going to see how good of a team they really are.
That's right.
Let's do
All
it.
right, where is your partner's favorite place to eat?
Favorite place to eat? It's like,
let's just say what's not.
No, Tyler, I'm the one asking the questions. Favorite place to eat?
make it legible. We can't read really good.
Texas Roadhouse?
I said seafood.
Okay. Wesley, you like seafood?
Turn it to the camera.
All right.
I got one.
Okay, go ahead,
I got
Luke.
one. In-N-Out or Whataburger?
We're
There's only
proud
one right
Texans
answer to that
here.
question.
So we're proud Texans.
Okay.
I'm going to answer that one for him. Whataburger.
Okay. Good enough. Tilden, what you got?
I'm an In-N-Out guy after all these years. I really like it.
Really?
Yeah. I'm a proud Texan, but also love In-N-Out.
Luke, you're from
They're leaving
California. Of course, you're going to
California. I
say
don't know if you've
In-N-Out,
seen
right?
Yeah, In-N-Out's the best.
In-N-Out is really good. All right, Wesley, Tyler, what is each other's most memorable run, when, and where? You see how quick that was versus places to eat?
Not a lot of time for sitting down and eating when you're rodeoing as much as these guys are.
And winning the amount of money they are?
I don't know if you just heard Wesley, but they flew in here just a minute ago.
Yeah, they did.
I can't read that. I think it says 10th round NFR.
10th,
Which
10th
year?
round. Texas Roadhouse.
I think they were both on the same
3-3
page with this
NFR?
one.
The 3-3 at the NFR. Well, I don't know. There was a couple back-to-back, but in 23 when we needed to do good and had to win the next two rounds to have a chance, and we tied the world record, and then we come back and won the next round. That was really cool. So both of those steers.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you weren't rodeoing, what would you be doing? Which would your partner be doing?
What would he be doing?
Yeah, if he wasn't rodeoing.
I would say the investment banker. I'm just going to go with that.
His kids told me that they want to do what Dad did for a living. They don't want to be a worker. So...
All right, and last but not least, before you all go get ready for the championship round, what annoys your partner the most about you? I would love this question so I could answer for Luke. Maybe that's during commercial.
No, we could answer it as soon as
Both
they're
of them
done.
just wrote Luke Branquino's annoying.
Luke Branquino stops 10 times on a road trip for a 2-hour drive.
Fact.
I have a
That
small
would
bladder.
annoy anyone. Wesley's sure riding a lot, Tyler.
Oh. Works.
The windshield wipers. So with his truck,
Is that a dance move?
there was
or
like
just
a
something you
fuse
do?
or something that went out, and the wipers would not stop going. And obviously, you don't have any new blades or anything, so it's literally just for like 7 hours. I was like, man, we should just cut them off. He's like, what if it rains? What if it rains?
Good point.
Fuse. I pulled the fuse. Got it off. It started raining.
Wesley
See?
Thorpe,
He
mechanic.
was right.
Well,
Wesley
a guy
Thorpe's
asked him one
prepared.
time about his old partners, and he said, well, they all have their quirks. And I said, what the heck do you mean they all have their quirks? So he's got his quirks.
That's all right. And you know what? The Quirks win world championships. Thank you so much for stopping by, Wesley and Tyler. We'll be watching you here in the championship round at Rodeo Houston. And for all of you, hey, stay here. You're watching Rodeo Live, presented by Tractor Supply. Don't go anywhere. to Rodeo Live, presented by Tractor Supply. There's a great shot at the University of Houston. And you want to talk about March Madness? Luke, Tilden, did you fill out a bracket? Because I did, and I am sitting very well, by the way.
Listen, the only March Madness I love is the rodeos that are going on right now, with Houston ending today, Tilden.
Yeah, I didn't make any March Madness picks. I'll be comfortable making some bareback riding picks, but no basketball.
Well, speaking of picks, we're going to get right into the steer wrestling, Luke, an event and sport that you know very well.
Yeah, I've had some luck. I've been fortunate enough to win a little bit in this event. But one thing about the steer wrestling, which we all see in the sport, is the camaraderie between the guys. You know, hazing for each other, riding each other's horses. And obviously, if you win on somebody else's horse, you're going to pay some mount money. But just people being more than willing to let you on their horse when they know they have a chance of not winning first because they let you go. So that's one thing I love about it.
Yeah, the camaraderie is the same in the bareback, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would, but I will say this. From what I've noticed, it's similar to the bulldogging, and those are two of the only events where I think it is as much as it is. And, you know, we're all out there fighting the same fight, trying to get down the road, get from point A to point B. Our real match is against these horses, not against each other. And there's a lot of times not much you can do about what happens other than what you do on that horse. And so there's no sense in, you know, having all the riffraff between you.
Yeah, absolutely. And a guy we love to talk about that is always a team player for everybody. Between him and Justin Schaefer, Jace Melvin, they're going down the road together, is Tucker Allen. Made his first national finals last year. I'm proud for him because he came to me and jumped his first steer. He started working with me at a really young age. To see his success now that I do not take credit for because he put in all the work. Now that's Tucker right here. That was in the wild card round. So Houston has a thing. If you don't advance to the semifinals, you get to go to the wild card round. And you have to show out. And that's exactly what Tucker did in the wild card and got his spot right there. And he's riding the great horse Gray of Justin Schaefer's. They travel together, rodeo together. Jace Melvin Hayes on the other side. But this guy has been on a mission and is doing a great job. And looking forward to him having a great Houston and get back to the national finals.
Say there's 10 guys out today in the short round. How many different horses will they be riding? How many guys are sharing horses?
So you're going to see probably 4 or 5 different set of horses. You're going to see Gray, Shelby, Swamper, which those horses have all been to the national finals. Shelby hasn't, but she will be. She's a superstar. So you're going to see about 4 or 5 different set of horses. And, guys like Cash Rob, another horse that we need to talk about, Katie, is Mabel of Stetson Jorgensen. He's been riding this horse all year. Won the national finals average title on this horse. Cash is one of those young kids, and he is so handy riding this horse, setting his go up. Utah Cowboy, you see right here, great run. Mabel does her job, works up, gets up that steer's back. Cash just hangs it on him.
Was he also the Rookie of the Year last year?
No, 2 years ago he was Rookie Year, and he would have made the national finals his rookie year, but blew his knee out late in the fall. So, a setback made for a comeback for Cash Rob.
Sure, and when we look back at just some of the highlights from Rodeo Houston thus far, when we were watching Cash just a moment ago inside NRG, the setup is different here. We talked to Jordan about it in barrel racing. It's probably similar in steer wrestling. What does the score and scoreline look like?
Yeah, the score and the start's not much different than a lot of other rodeos. The boxes are deeper, so the cattle are out in front of you a little bit farther. But these horses still go and do the same job that they've been doing, whether you're at San Antonio, Fort Worth. They just have to run them a little bit farther. So you need a horse that's going to make sure you get that top speed leaving the corner, and when you get farther down the arena, give you that top speed to those steers' horns.
Have you talked to the guys who will be competing in the championship round? What do they know about the steers? When did they last see them?
Well, so these steers, after each semifinals, they kind of keep tabs on them, and they're able to pick the steers for this championship round. They'll pick the 12, 10 plus 2 extras, and then the 4 and 2 extras on that'll go. So they try to even them up the best they can so everybody has a fair shot.
Yeah, we're going to get right into Dalton Massey, wildcard 2 qualifier.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dalton's one of those guys that has been so dominant the last 3 years. I mean, this guy's a stud. Here's him wild card round, gets through, and that's a tough spot. They take 6 guys back, only 1 moves on. But the thing about Dalton is you see him catch that steer's head. He hits sideways and jerks them around the corner and gets a good fall 99% of the time, and he's really come into his own the last few years.
Yeah, I think performing well in this wild card round, that's very indicative of handling high pressure situations, because that's it. It's a do or die moment, winner take all. Only one guy moves on. Dalton Massey got it done.
Yeah, and he's so aggressive. Again, the start, the ride, the throw, everything about Dalton Massey is aggressive, and that's why he's won so much the last couple of years. He's aggressive all the way through the run, no back down. He's going for first every time. We talk about the camaraderie between the guys. They love having Dalton Massey on his horse because if he's winning, they're getting paid.
Yeah, That's a really great point, especially when you're talking about the horsepower in steer wrestling. Luke, if you had to put money on one person to win Rodeo Houston today in the steer wrestling, can I get you to do that?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tucker Allen. He's riding gray. He won second on gray here last year. Has a lot of confidence, and kind of like I did in 2014, I won second. Come back in 2015 and won it. So I'm going with Tucker Allen to go ahead and stick it on him and just further himself into making his second national finals.
When we look at the championship round and who is out today, how many of those athletes have you helped or mentored?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've gotten calls from almost every one of them, and the thing about it is, I don't seek it. If they want advice, they call me and I'll give them everything that I have to offer. And again, we talk about camaraderie in rodeo. You do the same for any one of your fellow bareback riders, and that's again what I love about the sport.
Yeah, and when we think about just not only the camaraderie, but you just being a mentor, and we can't stress enough, we're going to be seeing Luke back in the arena here in just a few short weeks. He's coming out of retirement, possibly to become a millionaire. And if you've been watching any of our coverage, you know we have been talking a lot about the American Rodeo. But here at Rodeo Houston, being a champion of the Super Series, well, it has its unique coveted prizes, including the coveted guitar.
I won the Saddle Bronc riding Super Series 4, and I won a pretty sick guitar.
I am the winner of Super Series 3, and I was awarded a guitar. I told myself, you're not leaving without the guitar. The Super Series Champions guitar started in 2022. We had a staff member who was on our team and came up with the idea just around our 4 pillars, entertainment being one of them. We thought a guitar was something unique to our show. There is an internal award that we give out. We have 2 people judging the athletes, so it's kind of an internal game that we play, and so they come in, and the timers will email them and tell them or text them and tell them that they won that night. So it's been a fun competition. Everyone's gotten very creative this year with the guitar strumming.
So the contest is that the best guitar celly gets $500 cash, and yeah, I didn't know about it, and then they texted me and said, come in, we got a surprise for you. It's one over there, and apparently I won $500, so it's pretty cool.
We do give a cash prize if you strum the guitar the best.
And bragging rights.
And bragging rights, yes, of course.
Actually, I got out there, and they were like, hey, best show wins $500, and I was just like, all right, let's do it. I might have did a little bit of practicing, but the little spinny part, that was just off the top of my head.
They didn't practice my moves or nothing. I just kind of thought of it as I went, and I actually asked the lady, I was like, is it okay if I break this? And she's like, no, I'd prefer if you didn't. So I was like, oh yeah, I better catch it then. So I threw it up, and I actually didn't think I was going to catch it right, and ended up going right away, so it's pretty cool.
Damian gave me a pep talk before I ran in and said, okay, Summer, you got to do something cool. So I jumped in the air and landed in the splits with the guitar. No, it was not practice. Yes, you can play them. I actually need to have one restrung from the other night for Wasey Shala. His got a little beat up, so we're going to restring his. But yes, you can play them. I do play guitar. I actually went to go buy an amp for it the next night when we got home. I tried to play it. I know nothing about a guitar or what to do with one, and I'm sure I looked pretty awkward out there, but I gave it my best.
It's a little bit harder than I thought. My fingers are a little too big for the guitar.
But I'm probably going to start learning now.
This is definitely one of the coolest awards I've won.
You give those athletes a reason to win more money, and they'll capitalize on it, and they certainly did. You're watching Rodeo Live, presented by Tractor Supply here at Rodeo Houston. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Rodeo Live, presented by Tractor Supply. It is the championship round this Sunday, nowhere else than Rodeo Houston and NRG Stadium. Again, I'm Katie Kaufman alongside me, having all kinds of fun as Luke Branquino and Tilden Hooper. We've been breaking down all of the action of what we're going to be seeing here for the championship round. We just got done talking all about the steer wrestling. And now, Tilden, it's your event in bareback riding. You know so many of these athletes and fellow competitors and friends who are going to make the championship round today.
Wait. Before you go there, I got to ask you one question. What does it take to win Rodeo Houston?
Well, I'll get my phone out and I'll call Casey and ask him. He's won it 5 times. But as far as me, I won 4th once and just took drawing the right horses and riding good.
Tilden, just remember that Luke is retired, and he's finally coming out of retirement for maybe a one-hit wonder in a few weeks. I don't know.
Yeah, and I will be there with a mic in my hand. So a lot of this is going to come full circle. Championship Sunday, they've weeded out all the riffraff going into this deal, as Luke and a few people have pointed out, myself. Anyway, getting right into this, one thing we were talking about whenever we got here, Rocker Steiner, been to 5 rodeos. Not ranked yet. He will be after this week. I mean, to me, that's not a big deal. Like, honestly, there's only 3 rodeos he should have been to already, honestly. Fort Worth, San Antonio, Houston. You just had Jordan Briggs in here talking about it. You focus on these big, high payout rodeos. There's a lot of rodeos left this year. And in the bareback riding, it's a little different than every other event. Every time you get on one of these bucking horses, it takes a little bit off of you. Rocker's a young guy. He's in shape. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the more you do this, the more you expose yourself to getting hurt. Rocker rides at a level where he doesn't need to be going to 100 rodeos. He needs to go to the places where he can ride for the most money. As far as him not being ranked going into this rodeo, that's not news either. A lot of stuff has to line up in order to win at these rodeos. There's the draw, there's health, there's any number of things that could happen and cause you not to win. Who cares? Whatever it is, whatever happened before Houston, doesn't matter. He's 6,000 to the good going into the championship round with a chance to win $65,000 today. That put him right back there in the top 5, and we wouldn't be having this conversation. So, like I said, I don't know what's happened up until this point, and I don't really care. He doesn't either. He's having a good time. He's won $6,000. He's got a good horse today. I mean, what else do you want to know?
Well, listen, we've seen Rocker at the finals. He was sore. He was hurt. And obviously, when you leave the national finals after getting on 10 head of the rankest horses you get on, your body's going to take a toll. Now, he injured himself at the finals, so like everybody's saying he's not ranked. He hasn't been to many rodeos. No, because he's healing up from what happened in December. And it takes some time to get better. He even said, man, I might have got on a little too soon at one of them. Now he's feeling good, and you could see it in his riding, $6,000 here. And like you said, Tilton, he will be ranked after this day is over.
Well, I mean, you can't win a race with a beat-up race car. And in the bareback riding, your body is your race car. And you got to keep that thing tuned up. And whenever things aren't right, you got to stay home, let them heal up, man. Like, guys are too good, and the stock's too good to go out there and be halfway healthy, halfway not. And a guy like Rocker's used to being in contention for a first place championship, not winning 6th, 7th. You know what I mean? Because even on an off day, a guy like that might show up and still be good for a place and winning a check. But he's here to win first, so looks like he stayed home, got healthy, and from what I've seen this week, he's dialed in.
Yeah, when you talk about the physically demanding part of the sport of rodeo, I can't help but think it is the bareback riding. Steer wrestlers or maybe bull riding, they may argue that, but it's such a physically demanding event. And from Rocker Steiner, we're going to move right to Orrin Larson, and he's matched up with Secrets Out.
Yeah, to me, that's there's two horses that really jump off the list here, and Secret's Out's one of them. That's a horse they've been 88 to 90 on already. There's a lot of good horses out in the short round. Obviously, they pick what they think is the best ones going in here, but there's still going to be a top end and a bottom end. A lot of guys, are going to go out there and have a fun time, have a fun ride, but in my opinion, there's about 4 guys that have a way better shot, and Orrin Larson's one of them with that horse Secret's Out. Orrin's coming off a few years of fighting some injuries. He's been out here rodeoing a long time, and some of these injuries finally caught up to him. He's back home, healed up, and from what I've seen this year, Orrin Larson's riding as good or better than he ever has.
Well, now we talk about a kid that a young kid, Clay Jorgensen. He won all 3 rounds, right? Going into it, $9,000, I guess.
Yeah, he's won 3 out of the 4 rounds he's been in. Clay Jorgensen's been good for a few years now, whether it's injuries or what's kept him from making the national finals up until this point. I think he's over all that. Last summer, he wins Cheyenne, so, I mean, he can perform in a big moment. He's got a really good horse today, Andrews Rodeo, Cash and Carry. That's one of the top horses in the short round. Looks like he might be first out. That could be a disadvantage in the bareback riding. As bad as it is to say, sometimes that doesn't help, but I think he's riding good enough, and I think that horse is good enough that it's not going to matter. I think you're going to see him in the shootout.
Yeah, and when we look to Bradley Miller, he's matched up with Prairie Fire.
Yeah, Prairie Fire was in the 4 round here last year. I know Rocker was 91 on that horse, 90 on him somewhere else. That's a horse last year. Tanner had him in the short round here, and kind of a questionable call, missed him out. You could get on Facebook and see what everybody thought about that. But end of the day, the horse was in the 4 round, and Tanner made a great ride, and it's a horse that you could dang sure win this rodeo on. So to have him in the 10 round, that's an advantage. I haven't seen him this year. Looking at him on stock stats, maybe he's not quite as juicy as he was last year, but, I mean, anytime you have one that's been in the 4 round, you got one up on him.
Well, world champion Dean Thompson, he's coming off an amazing last year national finals, dominated, and you see Dean coming into a rodeo like this. That's somebody you better watch out for.
Yeah, what do they say? You never walk away from a heater, and Dean Thompson's on a heater right now. Dean did something similar to what T. Wade and Wesley Thorpe did at the national finals last year. It was good to watch. Dean Thompson backed in there every night, and when he nodded his head, he was going for first. No matter what the horse was doing, he'd spur him out and go at him. And I mean, not just a little bit, like wide open. And it was the bareback riding this year was as exciting watching it as I've seen in a long time. And Dean Thompson, like I said the other day, he's probably known in his heart for a while he thought he could be a world champion, but he went to Las Vegas last year and proved it to everybody else.
Well, and we'll see if Dean can put that same show on here today for Championship Sunday at Rodeo Houston. You're watching Rodeo Live. I hope you're having fun with us. I'm Katie Kaufman, alongside me, Luke and Tilden, and we'll be back right after this. We are back for Rodeo Live, presented by Tractor Supply. We're here in Houston, right outside NRG Stadium in the Midway, and we see so many rodeo fans making their way inside for Championship Sunday. Again, Katie Kaufman, Luke Branquino, Tilden Hooper, and we've been breaking down and also having a little fun here at Rodeo Live for the championship round. And at this time, we're going to get right into the hot takes and picks. This is also presented by Tractor Supply. And for the hot take for bareback riding, Tilden, I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, big payoff for Rocker Steiner today. Does he move into the top 5 or not? Unfortunately, I'm afraid Rocker's horse is going to be a little bit weak. One thing Rocker has going for him is he can get to riding this thing so good, maybe the judges get to watching him. It's going to be the Rocker Steiner show if he gets through there today. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just looking at the list. I see some better horses out there. I hope the best for him. And one thing we do know is he's going to mark this thing out, bounce him off the top of his handle, and leave it all out there. So it'll be fun watching.
Luke?
I'm going to go with Bradley Miller. He's on a heater. Look out.
No one asked you to make a pick.
No, I'm picking. I'm picking.
Oh, okay.
My hot pick's Bradley Miller.
All right, and my money's on Mason Clements.
Oh, nobody asked you to
We'll
pick.
see what he can get done. Well, I just wanted to offer my opinion.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm going to go with Clay Jorgensen. He's
A
one.
lot of time with Stetson Wright. He was on our TV crew down at the NFR in Las Vegas. He was coming back off injury. He said he's feeling better than ever, and I can't wait to see him in this championship round.
Yeah, and listen, when it comes to riding percentage, I don't know that anybody is better than Stetson Wright right now in riding percentage. We had watched him get on some bulls that you thought there's no way he should stay in the middle of them for 8 seconds, and he got his feet back down to position. To me, he's riding probably as good as he ever had. So, yes, Stetson Wright, he's the one that goes on with the championship.
Stetson never looks off. He never looks for an easy way out. Things get out of shape. He just moves his little skinny butt over there and keeps riding on around there. On a day like today, you're going to see some guys, even though they're $65,000 up, you're going to see some guys not try as hard as Stetson, and that's a shame.
Yeah, and here are the great bull riding matchups we're going to see for the championship round. And Stetson has a great bull from Survey's White Trash. And we've got all kinds of great stock. They bring the best of the best here at Rodeo Houston.
Yeah, looking at that right there, it's going to be one of the funnest events we're going to see all year long.
Let's don't sleep on Wasey Shallow.
And you know what? And just like that, Rodeo Live here, presented by Tractor Supply, has come to an end at Rodeo Houston. We're minutes away from the championship round. Don't go anywhere. We've had fun. We hope you have too.